Hyundai Santa Cruz is Hyundai's first sports adventure vehicle, not to be confused with the sports activity vehicle from our friends over at BMW. But basically what that means in Hyundai's language is an SUV with a truck bed. And if you're still confused, let me take you for a little walk around this thing and explain what I'm on about. So here it is from the outside. It kind of reminds me of the old Subaru Baja or like a baby Chevy Avalanche. But anyways, the purpose of today's test is to answer the question, well, what if you want to go on an adventure with your sports adventure vehicle? Today we're going to be testing the real-world fuel economy of the Hyundai Santa Cruz. So the way this test works is we go out 50 miles, back 50 miles, average 70 miles per hour to see what this thing would get in a real-world scenario. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's test, which gives this Hyundai Santa Cruz 27 MPG, only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know that some people like to take their cars on actual trips, or in this case, adventures, as Hyundai is hoping that you will do. A couple things to note for today's test. Outside temperature is 18 degrees Fahrenheit. It is absolutely freezing here in Michigan, as you can see from the snow on the ground. The tires have been aired up to their door placard indicated 35 PSI cold, and we'll be running the climate control at 73 degrees auto. So out 50 miles, back 50 miles, we'll be filling up at the same pump both times, using the same 3-click fueling method to make our results as accurate as possible. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing filled up. All right, 4.227 gallons in for our first fill. Toe for shoe tap. Okay, before we start the car, let's go ahead and reset our trip. Yeah. All right, trip is zeroed out. Let's go ahead and set our climate control on 73 degrees auto. We are ready to hit the road. Highway's about a half mile away. I will catch up with you once I get there. We do have a few selectable drive modes on the Santa Cruz: normal, sport, smart, and snow. For the purpose of today's test, to try and be as economical as possible, we're going to be driving in smart mode, which is kind of like eco mode, but the reason they call it smart is if you have some sort of an emergency situation, it can quickly switch over the throttle tuning to be aggressive. But today we'll be driving nice and smooth. But the purpose of this test is not to hypermile. We're not going to be drafting or anything like that. We're just going to get on here, set the cruise to 72 miles per hour, as indicated on Waze here. Under first highway impressions, this thing is smooth. I've got minimal road noise. I've got minimal wind noise. The ride itself, it's damped to be very soft. Seat's comfortable. I've got heated steering wheel and seat if I were to be using those, but for the sake of the fuel economy test, we're not going to be doing that today. All right, well, with all that being said, see you guys in about 95 miles. Enjoy this time lapse of our journey. All right, guys, wrapping up our trip right now. Indicated on our trip computer, after about 98 miles, this thing has been averaging 24.6 miles per gallon. Keep in mind the freezing cold temperatures today. I'm sure that does not help at all, but couple more miles. Overall highway impressions of this thing, it's super comfortable. I've really got no complaints other than the fact that we don't have a volume knob in this car, which makes it a little bit irritating to operate the infotainment with the volume and everything. But we do have a little switch over here on the side that makes things a little bit easier. So nothing like a Volkswagen system where you don't have anything at all, but Hyundai at least gave us this little switch on the steering wheel that helps with that. Road noise, not bad. Wind noise, not bad. Nothing weird in here at all that makes the highway experience, you know, unbearable or anything like that. Comfortable seat, really good. Sun visors as well, nice size, and they extend. Really no complaints in here at all as far as cruising comfortably goes. All right, well, I'm gonna get off the highway here and we'll get ready to fill this thing up and see what we actually got on our highway fuel economy test. So I'll talk to you guys in just a minute. Oh, and I forgot to mention Hyundai's S-tier lane keep system. I mean, this thing essentially drove itself the whole way, and guys, it's just fantastic. Any Hyundai, Kia, Genesis product, they have really mastered the art of this lane keep assist system. It is absolutely fantastic. It takes a lot of the stress and headache away from long distance trips. Of course, you still have to concentrate. You know, it still yells at you when you don't touch the steering wheel, but it gives you about a minute. I mean, it's not like these systems that, you know, beep at you every 5 seconds. Very, very good system. Very, very impressed. And this would be a great car for adventuring, as Hyundai proposes you do with this car. All right, and that is 3.78 gallons in. Let's get in here and do some math. All right, the gas station was getting a little bit busy, so I pulled over into this parking lot for us to do some final maths. So even though this is an indicated 100.8 miles, we know that our loop that we do is exactly 102.2 miles. So 102.2 divided by the 3.78 gallons that we put into the car for our final fill gives us a final reading of 27 miles per gallon even. So this Santa Cruz has met EPA in 19 degrees at 70 miles per hour average, or 72 for our test. So that is fantastic. So 27 miles per gallon, okay, we know that our fuel tank in this is 17.7 gallons. That gives us an effective cruising range on the highway of 478 miles. That is excellent. So overall, what do I think about this Hyundai Santa Cruz? Well, I think Hyundai gets it right when they say sports adventure vehicle. That's really what this thing is for. You can take it on all sorts of adventures, get pretty good fuel economy, have tons of highway cruising range. The interior cabin is super comfortable. The lane keep assist is fantastic as well. And I think overall, it's a really, really cool and clever little package for today's market. I think it looks great as well. So that's going to wrap it up for us today. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Christopher Brower with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.